Okay, if everybody would get seated, we can get started. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us all today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Bill Fontenot, and I'm the President and CEO of Cleco Holdings. Again, thank you all for being here today. It's an exciting day to be in the Louisiana power business. And I hope that you're as excited to be here as we at Cleco are. Really, you're here at the site of the prettiest power plant in the state of Louisiana. Okay, I might be a little biased, but we're excited to have you here at Cleco's Brame Energy Center. But more importantly, why are we here? We're here to begin Cleco's journey to support a cleaner Louisiana and to take a step towards our commitment to a decarbonized Louisiana. And of course, meeting our own carbon reduction goals of net zero by 2050. But before we get started, as we always do at Cleco, we begin with a safety share or a safety moment. So I'm going to call up Robbie Laborde. Robbie is our Chief Operations and Sustainability Officer for the company to give us a safety share. Robbie?
Thank you, Bill, and welcome everyone. So at Cleco, there's nothing more important, absolutely, unequivocally, not one thing more important to us than the safety of our employees, our contractors, our customers, and the general public. And that's why at Cleco, we have a thing that Bill said called a safety share or a safety moment. So whether you're in engineering or accounting, if you're in finance or operations, every single meeting we have begins with a safety share to make sure we put safety first. And so this great event today is nothing different. We're going to start with a safety share. So today's safety share is about distractions, as you can imagine. 1 out of 4 industrial accidents are caused by distractions. And in driving, it's probably a lot higher than that when you're driving. So with the announcement today, there comes a lot of fanfare, excitement, fear, anxiety, speculation, and all that does is take our employees' mind off the task at hand. And so, what do we do to avoid that? We apply a tool called our STAR tool: stop, think, act, and review. And so, I'm challenging our employees with all that's going to be going on out here that before they take that critical step, before they do that critical task, they stop and they think and then they act. And that'll help them avoid those distractions that they get into. End to share, Bill. Thank you.
Our state, our country, and our world is transitioning to reduce our carbon output to ensure a sustainable world for future generations. And as Cleco, as a power provider, we're going to be part of that change by providing a clean power solution to our customers who can in turn decarbonize their own processes. That sounds like a challenge. But today, you will hear that decarbonization also provides an opportunity for the communities that we serve. We're here today to the site of the next evolution of power generation in Louisiana, Project Diamond Vault. Project Diamond Vault will use modern technology to support clean fossil fuel power as we transition to complement our generation fleets with renewable forms like solar and wind and emerging technologies. Through our Diamond Vault project, we're embarking on a journey to reduce the carbon footprint of our Madison 3 unit through the use of carbon capture and sequestration, or CCS technology. This technology will single-handedly reduce the emissions at our Madison 3 plant upwards to 95%. You'll hear today about how we intend to leverage technology advancements, ingenuity, and our own Louisiana natural resources like geological formations, as well as heartland waterways, to create a clean power solution while creating and retaining the jobs in the communities that we serve. But we can't do it alone. It takes the support of so many Louisiana leaders to make it a success. So fittingly, I'm going to begin today's discussions with recognizing many of our leaders who are here today. Now, some of you will be speaking, but first I'd like to recognize others here. First, U.S. Senator John Kennedy's staffer, Hannah Livingston. Hannah, thank you for being here. Sheriffs Mark Wood from Rapides Parish and Steve Kane from Grant Parish. Thank you guys for being here. District Attorney Philip Terrell from Rapides Parish. Philip. State Representative Mike Johnson. Mayors Ronnie Williams from Natchitoches, David Butler from Woodworth, Gail Wilking from Ball, Alma Moore from Boyce, Clarence Fields from Pineville, and Jeff Hall from Alexandria. Again, thank you all for being here, and only with your leadership will we be successful. Next, I'd like to introduce Bill Conway. Bill is Cleco's own Chief Compliance and General Counsel for the company. But Bill holds another title. He's actually our Corporate Development Officer. But more importantly, Bill Conway is the champion of our Project Diamond Vault. So I'd like to call Bill to the podium, really to give us the details about what we're trying to accomplish with this great project. Bill?
Thank you, Bill. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. Project Diamond Vault's a milestone in the transition of Louisiana's fossil fuel economy to a sustainable, clean energy future. And I'm going to tell you how we make it happen. Our Madison 3 unit is the workhorse of our generation fleet. Unlike many solid fuel plants, Madison 3 has low emissions of sulfur dioxide, NOx, and particulates because it uses advanced combustion technology. But there's a problem. In the electric generation sector, Madison 3 is the biggest single emitter of carbon dioxide in the state of Louisiana at 3 to 4 million tons of CO2 a year. We know we cannot continue to operate this way. So Cleco is committed to substantially eliminating the CO2 emissions of MAD 3 through Project Diamond Vault. Diamond Vault will install equipment that uses a chemical process to capture 95% of Madison 3's CO2. We'll compress the CO2 and then inject it into deep geological formations where it will be permanently stored and bond with the surrounding rock over time. That's our project in a nutshell. The best part is that these geological formations are not 100 miles away or 50 miles away, but located right beneath your feet, about 4,000 feet straight down. Subject to final confirmation, we believe there's enough capacity beneath Brame to store the remaining lifetime CO2 emissions of MAD 3, plus CO2 generated by third parties. We're announcing Diamond Vault now because we've begun the basic engineering work for the project. This work, known as a FEED study, an acronym for front-end engineering design, will be the basis for final design and construction contracting. We are also very, very pleased to announce that Cleco is the beneficiary of a $9 million congressional appropriation to defray the estimated $12 million cost of the FEED study. Louisiana Economic Development will administer these federal funds. We are deeply grateful to Senator Cassidy for sponsoring the FEED study appropriation, and to Senator Kennedy, Governor Edwards, and Secretary Pearson for their tremendous and bipartisan help in securing these federal funds. All of them support a new energy future for Louisiana, and without their efforts, we would not have been successful. Diamond Vault is a momentous and long-term undertaking. Here's our timeline. The FEED study will take 18 months to complete. Permitting will end and construction will begin no later than 2025, and we plan for commercial operation in 2028. We estimate Diamond Vault will cost $900 million to complete. That's a very big hill to climb. But we expect to raise that amount through a combination of 45Q tax credits, grants from the U.S. Department of Energy, and private equity investment. And the benefits of Diamond Vault will be worth it. We estimate the project will create 1,100 direct construction jobs over a 3-year period and 30 to 40 new permanent positions. On a statewide basis, LSU economist Dr. Lawrence Scott estimates that the construction phase of Diamond Vault will create 2,900 jobs each year, inject $2.7 billion into the Louisiana economy, and increase state tax revenues by $50 million. Most of these benefits will be realized right here in central Louisiana and Rapides Parish. In addition, we see tremendous potential for Diamond Vault to become a storage hub for CO2 produced by third parties. We're already in discussions with companies that are interested in siting direct air capture facilities at the Brame site. These would use a chemical process to take CO2 directly out of the air and sequester it through Diamond Vault. And we're also talking to companies who would deliver CO2 to Brame by pipeline. Finally, we think there will be a market for 24/7 clean energy produced by Madison 3 after Diamond Vault is up and running. That power may be sold at a premium to end users who need it for compliance with low-carbon fuel standards. If we're successful with selling clean energy, we'll be able to reduce the rates of our regulated retail customers. In closing, I'll respond to a question that may be on your minds. Why is the project called Diamond Vault? Well, it's a metaphor. Diamonds are precious jewels made deep within the earth. Project Diamond Vault won't literally make diamonds, but we do believe that gathering and sequestering carbon in geological vaults directly below the Brame Energy Center will have precious value to our ratepayers, the state of Louisiana, and the world. To us, the project is a diamond. Back to you, Bill.
Well, thank you, Bill. And you might have noticed something in Bill's voice, and that was passion. So while Bill has a lot of titles at the company, I can just tell you that this is not a project to Bill Conway. This is his passion. So Bill, thank you for your dedication to what we think is really a great cause. You've heard that coal is environmentally unfriendly. That said, fossil fuels will remain a key component of the power grid until renewables and other technologies evolve to ensure that we have a clean but also reliable power grid. And Madison 3 with Diamond Vault are key investments to that clean energy transition. In many areas of the company, coal units are being retired as having lived their useful life. But here at Cleco, with our 12 years young Madison 3 project and Diamond Vault, it will become the marquee coal plant to support a cleaner Louisiana. At Cleco, we understand how important that is, as they are clearly reflected in our own ESG, that's environmental, social, and governance commitments, and they're public today. In summary, Diamond Vault is about engineering a way to help decarbonize energy production in a state that's built its economy around carbon. As Bill Conway shared earlier, the initial step in the process is the receipt of the $9 million FEED study grant that our Washington delegation was instrumental in introducing into Congress. So it's with great pleasure
is a importance of this project that exceeds that of just Cleco.
As you serve 24 parishes, I believe. So a very significant role that they play in economic development, and we're pleased to have the beginning here today of yet another milestone along the way on this journey. And this journey certainly acknowledges Cleco's leadership in terms of environmental science and investment in this community, and is supported by a national and global leader in climate improvement, and that's our governor, John Bell Edwards. So he'll come forward at this time, please.
Thank you, Don, and I appreciate your leadership at economic development. And Bill, it did seem like it was just the other day than when we were meeting, and typically things don't take shape quite this fast, but this is incredibly important. It's a continuation of our commitment to revitalize rural communities across the state, and a milestone on our path to a cleaner energy future. The truth is that I think Senator Cassidy got it exactly right as to why this is important. There is no state in the country, in very few places on earth, more impacted by climate change than Louisiana. We see it in subsidence and sea level rise, coastal erosion, but we also see it with the increasing severity and frequency of storms, and make sure that prayer list deals with hurricanes as we approach hurricane season this year. 5 in the last 2 years is quite enough. And look, the road is long, but I think the direction is clear. I mean, we're sitting here, and Bill talked about Cleco's commitment to net zero by 2050. Incredibly important. And just about every CEO today, here and around the world, is being tasked by their boards of directors to be responsible for making sure that they make improvements. And so if it isn't just the companies who are going to want to be able to sequester their CO2 here at this facility who will take advantage of this electricity, it's any CEO who wants to put a manufacturing facility or some other facility where they can take advantage of this so that they can say that they're meeting their internal goals to decarbonize. So this is about economic development as much as it is about climate change. You all know that the climate action plan that we adopted earlier this year is the only one of its kind in the Gulf South, and has provided a detailed roadmap for achieving the goal of being net zero by 2050. But for businesses in Louisiana, it really does boil down to 2 major objectives. We must make significant capital investment in new low-carbon energy alternatives, I should say, such as solar, offshore wind, biofuel, and hydrogen. And we have done that. $20 billion in clean energy projects since 2017. Projects like this just in that exist today is, I think, a manifestation of that. You know, we're the only state in the nation where more than 50% of our CO2 emissions don't come from power generation. That's because chemical manufacturing and refining in Louisiana, that's where most comes from. But that is not to say that power generation isn't important. It is extremely important. It is part of that all of the above approach that we're taking. It's exciting to know that that carbon will be sequestered in geologic formations right here at the Brame Energy Center. And this keeps costs down. You don't have to have long pipelines to be built in order to move the CO2. And by avoiding that costly process, and then you take advantage of the 45Q tax credit and hopefully additional funding that will come from the U.S. Department of Energy. And by the way, I want to thank President Biden who's making these funding opportunities available, but I also want to thank Senator Cassidy, who has been instrumental in securing these opportunities as well. But as a result of all of that, Cleco's doing this expecting no rate increases on its customers. Now think about that. That is incredibly important for all of the 291,000 Cleco customers across 24 parishes, and I'm proud to be part of this. And I'm going to deviate from my notes for just a second because Senator Cassidy is here, and I want to thank him for the Infrastructure Investment Jobs Act that is going to help us in so many other ways to clean up the environment as well. Whether it is shutting in some of the orphan wells out there, we only have 4,600 of them, and making that those fugitive methane emissions are reduced when it we have an opportunity to compete to become a hydrogen hub. And I hope you saw where we're joining forces with Arkansas and Oklahoma to compete as a region for that. And I'm really what all of that's going to mean for us, in addition to all the roads and bridges. I don't expect we've been to a setting where you were present, I don't believe, since the Infrastructure Investment Jobs Act. So I want to tell you on behalf of myself and the great state of Louisiana, thank you for your work on that bill. Appreciate you. So they're exciting. They are economy. They make sure that we're going to be an energy leader for generations to come, not just in the past. And I believe that existing energy emissions are even more critical than anything have an impact much sooner. And they stimulate, they stimulate activity, create jobs, and they create jobs right here in rural areas. Case an estimated 30 to 40. They serve as a model to other Louisiana businesses trying to navigate the energy transition in a way that's responsible, but also profitable. And they certainly accelerate our progress to net zero. So I want to applaud Cleco's initiative. I thank our local, regional, state, and federal partners for their collaboration, their support, and I to be equally doing our environment, our communities. Paul?
Meeting with the governor and several attended it with our future net zero carbon, and he said basically, hurry up. Serious note, Governor, thank you for your here. Thank you for those words. If you have ears, you've heard our governor's support of carbon capture and storage in Louisiana, and quite frankly, he's visionary in his perspective to leverage the geological formations in Louisiana to sustain business and industry. So thank you, Governor, for your leadership. And Governor, I'll say it again, thank you for sending Don and his team to support this day and this initiative. It couldn't have been more valuable to us. So we have a huge value proposition for all of our stakeholders. A win for our employees with expansion of jobs and retention of jobs. A win for our customers to enable them to decarbonize their homes, decarbonize business and manufacturing. And finally, as we look right here in central Louisiana. Well, I mentioned discussions with the governor. And of course, if there's discussion about a project in central Louisiana, Senator Jay Luno is going to be hanging around. Senator, your support for this project has been unwavering, and we're fortunate to have you to serve central Louisiana and our community today. So, Senator, I know you have plenty of your constituents from your district right here at this meeting, and I think they'd love to hear about your perspective to attract business and industry with clean power solutions. To highlight the importance of this facility and this development, introduced Bob. Bob Hess, chairman of Newmark's Consulting and Strategy Group. After in corporate strategy and site selection, he's conducted over 300 assignments globally across a variety of industries. And Nike. And he's introduced expansions in, and Bob's the CEO where he should expand or
Good afternoon, everybody. Economic development, it's a huge concept. It's usually brought back to some small measurements like job creation, capital investment, fiscal stability, tax base. These are good things. And then it goes back out wide again to broader concepts like workforce development and talent. Number one in the boardroom. Every boardroom I'm in, it's about talent. Community development, you can't separate community development from economic development anymore. They're back together again. You got to have attractive communities. The entrepreneurial side of this, by the way, there's small businesses that are going to be servicing this facility, maintenance people, mill, and then always there's attraction and retention in economic development. There's so week in Berlin at an EV conference.